Alright folks, in today's video I'm going to share 5 upcoming JRPGs that I'm really excited to play in the first half of 2024. Now you might be asking, why are you only covering the first half of 2024? Well, you might have probably noticed, but the first half, in particular the first quarter, is jam-packed with JRPGs. So much so that when I was doing a list of upcoming games of 2024, I realized that almost all of them had a release window around that time. That's why I'm targeting that window for this video. Now 2023 has already been a fantastic year with so many awesome games. As of this recording, I just finished the remake of Star Ocean 2 and I had a great time. But in today's video, we're looking ahead, and before I dive in, I just want to say that this is just my personal list, and if you have other games you want to highlight, then please share them in the comment section. Alright, first up we have Granblue Fantasy ReLink. Now here we have a game that was announced all the way back in 2016. It was supposed to be developed by both Cygames and Platinum Games, but Platinum left the project around 2019, leaving Cygames to handle the rest of the development. I first caught wind of this game back in 2018 when they released some gameplay footage, and I remember liking it from the get-go, despite not having any history with the franchise. And if I'm being honest, I still don't know much about Granblue Fantasy. All I know is that the game is an action JRPG set in the Granblue Fantasy universe, and from what I've seen so far, it looks great. To my understanding, you don't really need to be familiar with Granblue or have played the mobile game in order to understand the story of ReLink, which is great because I believe there are a bunch of people, like myself, who are interested in giving this upcoming game a try, but are unfamiliar with Granblue. Again, the game looks incredible, and from what I've seen so far, it seems like a really fun action JRPG. Now Granblue Fantasy ReLink is set to be released on February 1st, 2024. It feels really weird saying that because there has been so many uncertainties surrounding this game, but this time it seems to be it. It will be on PS5, PS4 and PC, and I can't wait to finally be able to play and experience Granblue Fantasy ReLink. Up next we have Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, the 9th main entry in the long-running Yakuza series, and the direct sequel to Yakuza Like a Dragon is coming on January 26, and I'm really excited to return to the world of Yakuza. What makes the Yakuza franchise so awesome is its unique blend of crime drama, comedy, and the over-the-top gameplay. Now Yakuza games have mainly been categorized as the beat-em-up action games, but since Yakuza Like a Dragon, they've introduced turn-based combat and other RPG elements, which I consider a welcoming change. Besides Like a Dragon, I've only played Yakuza 0 and the 2 Kiwami games, so there are still a lot of Yakuza games for me to play. But with my limited experience with Yakuza, I do consider Like a Dragon to be my favorite so far, mainly thanks to the RPG elements that were introduced, and Infinite Wealth picks up right where it left off. In Infinite Wealth we get to follow Ichiban in his search for his mother, but this time they brought in the original protagonist of the Yakuza series, Kazuma Kiryu. They're both teaming up in this game, and I'm so excited to play Kiryu in this new setting. It has been almost 3 years since the release of Yakuza Like a Dragon, and I can't wait to dive back into the immersive world of Yakuza and its larger-than-life RPG adventure. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is set to be released on January 26 on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC. Next up we have Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Now here we have another game that I'm not so familiar with. What I do know is that it is directed and produced by the creator of the Suikoden series, and it is more or less seen as a spiritual successor. I remember seeing this game on Kickstarter a couple of years ago, and since then I haven't really paid much attention. My experience with Suikoden is very limited, and I've only played one Suikoden game before, and that was for the Nintendo DS. I have yet to play Suikoden 1 or 2, which are today seen as a cult classic. So when they announced the Eiyuden Chronicle, it pretty much went over my head. It wasn't until a couple of weeks ago when I saw the TGS trailer for this game that it finally caught my attention. What I like about this game is that it looks and plays like a classic JRPG with a modern touch to it. It has a beautiful aesthetic combining both 2D and 3D graphics, and the battle system is turn-based with dynamic camera movements, which looks awesome. From what I've seen, it seems like the game is going to be expansive with a large cast of characters and a deep storyline centered around the themes of war and peace. And if I'm not mistaken, the premise of Eiyuden Chronicle is very similar to Suikoden, and so far it looks really promising. Again, that TGS trailer is what really caught my attention, and I'm really excited to give this game a try. I know that Konami is also releasing an HD remaster of Suikoden 1 and 2 in 2024, but my eyes are set right now on Eiyuden Chronicle. Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes is set to be released on April 23rd on pretty much every console and PC. Alright, next up we have Persona 3 Reload. That's right, the remake of Persona 3 is part of the jam-packed lineup of 2024, and I'm so hyped for this remake. It was just recently that we got Persona 3 Portable Remaster, and now we're getting a remake as well, which is kinda weird now that I think about it. Like, what was the point of releasing a port of Persona 3 Portable when you have a remake coming early next year? I might be missing something here, but regardless, my excitement for this remake is off the charts. Persona 3 was definitely the Persona game I spent most hours on, and seeing all the updated graphics and features makes you want to jump back into the world of Persona 3. What I really like about the Persona series, in particular when it comes to the modern Persona games like Persona 3, is that it combines the elements of traditional RPG and social sim. In Persona 3 you pretty much have to manage your day-to-day life while dungeon crawling and fighting shadows at night. It has a really addictive gameplay loop, and Persona 3 was the Persona game that started it all with the social sim elements like Social Link, which has become a staple feature in both Persona 4 and Persona 5. Now, to my understanding, Persona 3 Reload will mainly be a remake of the base game, and it will not feature the epilogue from FES, and the female protagonist from Portable is not included, which is unfortunate because this could have been like the definitive version of Persona 3, unless Atlus decides to release those features as DLC, which is something I can totally see them doing. Regardless though, I am really excited for this remake. I haven't played a Persona game for a while now, and I can't wait to experience Persona 3 again. Persona 3 Reload is set to be released on February 2nd on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC. And last but not least, we have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That's right, the second part of Final Fantasy VII Remake is upon us, and I'm really excited to return to the world of Final Fantasy VII. It has been now 3 years since part 1 was released, and from what I've seen so far, it looks like Rebirth is going to be a lot bigger than its predecessor. It picks up right after the events of the first game, where we finally get to venture into the world outside of Midgard for the first time. Those who have played Final Fantasy VII Remake knows that the story is heading in a bold new direction where the timeline is somewhat different from the original. Personally, I am really intrigued to see where they're heading, but I'm also a bit cautious. Whenever you introduce some form of time travel or timeline changes, it could sometimes become a bit too messy and convoluted. It's not just a remake anymore, it's becoming its own thing, and Rebirth is a very fitting title. Now, Final Fantasy VII Remake was one of my favorite JRPGs of 2020, and I honestly think they found a perfect blend of being action-based while retaining the tactical RPG elements that we've seen in the past Final Fantasy games. And to see that being expanded upon in Rebirth with the introduction of combination attacks, new materials, and now having a massive world to explore has me really excited. I can totally see myself getting lost in the world of Rebirth and spending upwards of 80+ hours trying to do almost everything in that game. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is set to be released on February 29th on PS5. And there we go, 5 upcoming JRPGs that I'm really excited to play in the first half of 2024. Feel free to share in the comment section which games you're looking forward to playing in 2024, and consider subscribing if you're interested in gaming/JRPG related stuff. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll hopefully see you guys next time.